Welcome back to the Alien Spaceship Talk Show podcast. And in case you're just joining us, you're listening to the Alien Spaceship Talk Show podcast with Emmy, Hikins, and Trevor.
But yeah, well, because if you don't think there is, then that whole conspiracy thing dies off, don't it? And I quite like the idea of it, and I think that's why I'm sticking with, those that believe that it does exist, because then, what do you gain, what do you lose? It's like a fiction.
I mean, probably the wider question is: are there, whether it's Bigfoot or the Loch Ness monster, could there still be creatures in the sea, in the lochs, the lakes, or on land, which have yet to be discovered? Now, probably there are. I mean, there are so many millions of species, and so many of them, probably very small ones, have never been discovered. It's just the way it is. But could there really be sea creatures, river creatures, or land creatures that we've never really documented or photographed in this day and age? I don't know, and I suppose it gives rise to the possibility that it could be the case. And as you say, it's quite a good thing to think there could be things we just don't know. There could be creatures we've never really been able to see, and that's quite a romantic idea, isn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah. And another one is dinosaurs. Do you actually? I know the fossil records of fossils that do point to the existence of a dinosaur, but we've never seen one. And I'm not saying there isn't. And I love Jurassic Park. I love all of Jurassic. So I don't want to be offending fans of Jurassic Park, but and people say they existed millions and millions of years, and I'm thinking, really? Could there not just be one that is still alive somewhere, somewhere like in a remote? I mean, all right, so here's my theory. There are people that are still being discovered today that lived in, jungles where it's almost inaccessible for humans. And they existed, they're there. They didn't die off. And then we go and discover them and we put them on, on the map, sort of say, well, and then we try to study them because they're different from us. And we try to.
They don't want to be studied, do they? When they're discovered.
They don't want to be. No. They don't want to be disturbed. They love.
No, good for them.
They love what they are and what they do. They just want to. They just want to be left in peace. But obviously, we've gone there. We've disturbed them and documented them. Not documented in a sense, but brought them to the attention of the general public. So those people do exist. Could there be dinosaurs somewhere? Somewhere where we've never been. I mean, there is the Bermuda Triangle, and nobody knows where it is. Nobody knows what happens when you go through it. So could there be another world where, it's just fairy tales and dinosaurs and, just what do you think?
I think, let me think. No. No, I don't think so. They talk about a place under the sea, Atlantis, and all this sort of stuff. But I sensed you were going to say to me when you introduced the dinosaurs, do you believe there were dinosaurs? I don't know, perhaps you weren't, but that's what, and yeah, I do. If that was your question, I certainly do. I think the fossil evidence is so powerful, and they have occasionally found the complete fossilized remains of different types of dinosaurs. So I don't think there's any question they existed, but as to whether they exist now, I would doubt that. The main relatives of dinosaurs, of course, are birds. They were there before the dinosaurs, and they, rather more than, crocodiles and alligators, there's a link. but not in the same way as birds. So when we see birds flying, that kind of is an indicative proof that their ancestors did live on the planet. Why that? Well, you may or may not remember, we did one of these things on one of our podcasts about why did dinosaurs come before humans?
Humans, yeah.
And I remember researching that a bit and saying that they came because the weather conditions were much more suited to their needs, the food they needed, and so on. So that's why it came. And 65 million years ago is when an asteroid apparently hit the Earth, which is a recorded event, and eventually killed the dinosaurs because the sun was blocked out with all the stuff that went up for 6 months or more, and they couldn't get food. Now that's the story we're told. And
we're going to take a short break now. We're back shortly. You've been listening to the Alien Spaceship Talk Show with Trevor Gear and Emmy Hikins. The Alien Spaceship Talk Show podcast is looking for sponsors. If you're a company out there looking to spread the word about the products and services you provide, please get in touch with Deepstuff Radio Podcast on info@deepstuffrecords.com, or to use the contact form on our website to contact us, please visit radio.deepstuffrecords.com. Also, if you're looking to get involved on the Alien Spaceship Talk Show podcast, reach out via our Deepstuff Radio Facebook page. Thank you.